I'd like to welcome you all here today. I see obviously very many journalists, very many friends of political democracy in South Africa, and it's also wonderful to see members of Agang and the Democratic Alliance who've just heard of this press conference and decided to be here to share this historic moment with us all. And it obviously goes without saying that it is with very great pleasure and excitement that I can announce today that Dr. Mamphela Ramphele has accepted the DA's invitation to stand as our presidential candidate in the 2014 general election. We've come a long way together, and that will be the end of one journey and the start of many others. I can announce further that we are establishing a joint technical committee between Agang SA and the DA to manage the integration of the DA and Agang and its structures and volunteers. This is a game-changing moment for South Africa. When I was elected the leader of the Democratic Alliance in 2007, I set out the case back then for a fundamental realignment of our politics. Very few people knew what that meant at this stage, but I think it is becoming clearer and clearer. I said that political change will come about as the old political formations become obsolete. We can see this happening now. As the ANC breaks into its own constituent parts, we are building a new vehicle to bring about the South Africa we dared to dream of in 1994. And to do that, we have to build a new majority. And this is a very big step in that direction. The DA leadership, as you can see here today, is drawn from across the political spectrum of old. Some of us come from the liberal tradition that opposed apartheid. Others were previously members of the ANC. Some were part of the Pan-Africanist movement, more specifically the PAC. And others have a very prominent black consciousness background. But the important thing is that we all share the same values. The belief in an open opportunity society for all, characterized by non-racialism, the rule of law, a market economy, human rights, and prosperity for every South African. I have known Mamphela since the early 1980s, when we worked together on the second Carnegie inquiry into poverty and development. I worked for her as Director of Communications and Development when Mamphela was the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Town. And in that capacity, we have been together in many battles. And that was just the warm-up for the battles we're still going to face. And another big challenge for us was, of course, raising our boys. And between us, we have 4, 2 each. So we know what it's like to raise boys. Yes. We have wonderful stories of our boys to tell, and Mamphela's just reminded me of one. So we've been through all of that, and there's nothing that brings people together more than the challenge of raising functional adults in a complex society. And as most of you know, we have been in talks for a very long time about joining political forces, and today that comes to fruition. I know Mamphela as a principled, fiercely determined person. Believe me, I do know her as a fiercely determined person who loves our country very deeply and devotes her life to the cause of making our democracy work and ensuring that we become what we have the potential to be. I can think of no better person to be our presidential candidate in this crucial tipping point election than Dr. Mamphela Ramphele. Welcome, Mamphela.